Yeah, hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin and Cardano. In this video, we're going to take a look at both charts. Today, I want to do something a little bit different. We take a look at the charts first. I want to show you as well an interesting pattern that also confirms why I think we're going to have another sell-off, for Bitcoin before we go up further. At the moment, however, it is pretty much a decision point where we are. I did explain it in the previous videos. We're going to take a look at that as well. But let's start with Bitcoin. You know, with Bitcoin, just a quick recap before we take a look at this pattern that I wanted to show you. Where we are here, we have on the Bitcoin chart, that's the daily chart. Prices come from Bitstamp. I've talked about it for a while now, this ABC pattern where we did come up here in a wave 1 back in April. It's basically a wave 1 within a larger wave 3, but this is a wave 1, then you're coming down in a wave A, B, C, and this ABC pattern is part of a wave 2. So after the wave 2, you should see wave 3, basically a rocket start. Is this what we have here at the moment already, the rocket start? Personally, I don't think so. The possibility exists, but it's not there yet. And earlier in my video today that I did say that my primary expectation, I mean, I've remained quite consistent about that. My primary expectation is still that we are going to come down lower here in a final sell-off into this wave 5 area, because what you have here, this wave C consists of 5 waves. You've got your 1, 2, 3, 4. We are now in the wave 4 and possibly starting just now the wave 5. I did tell you earlier in my video today that I do expect or would like to see a significant price drop below 43k today, because if we don't see that, then this could confirm that we are actually going up higher from here. And I did explain it in the previous video. This is the short-term, more bullish scenario, but it seems like we are seeing this price decline below 43k, and we are going to take a look at that in a minute. But I did remain throughout this whole period here quite bearish. Talked about that we are going to see further price decreases. There is another more bullish scenario, but also that is actually a bearish one, because all you would do in this alternative scenario is move up higher, maybe all the way up to 65k, before you then come down in your final wave C. Okay, but no all-time highs from here. I would, with a very high probability, say no to that. Not yet. We need to see that lower low. Why? Because if this is an ABC correction, which I expect, then the wave C normally comes below the wave A. The wave A took place here at around 28.7k. That was back in June. I want to see the wave C ending below that. Only then we can build sustainable new all-time highs. I sometimes get the comments I'm too bearish. Sometimes get the comments that, oh, you really want the price to go lower. Yes, because only then we can get to sustainable all-time highs. Otherwise, it's hardly possible. We all want to get 150 to 200k Bitcoin. You won't get it from here. You just won't. Maybe. But low probability. You need to come down. You need those indicators, the monthly MACD, the weekly MACD. They need to be low. The lower they are, the higher you can go up in the next run up. So Elliott Waves tell me we are going to come down once more. The structure tells me that, and it might be the beginning of that, what we observe here now, because even without looking at it, I think we've just dropped below the 50-day moving average, but we can take a look at that in a minute. What I wanted to show you, not only the Elliott Waves know that pattern, no, this pattern is also what you call the 3 peaks and the domed house. Not sure if you've heard about that. It is one that you find in textbooks all over the place. 3 peaks and the domed house. People oftentimes like patterns more. It's visually easier to see that than using the Elliott Waves, which is sometimes very difficult. But you can see it here. You've got your 3 waves. This was typically actually 4 waves in this move up here, but then it depends on when you start your 3 waves. Actually, what you have up here is very nicely 3 waves. Then you come down what they call A here as well. You come down in your wave A. You move all the way up here very nicely. You can see that here on this left 3 peaks and the domed house pattern as well, where you overshoot the previous high. And what you do then, you're coming down here quite significantly below the low of the wave A. And that is what I still expect to play out here. So I'm very, I'm confident that this is going to play out. And if it doesn't happen now, within this wave 4 scenario in which we currently are, in which we could move all the way up to 46.5k before we go down. If it doesn't happen now, we are going to go higher, but not all-time high level, and then come down. These are my 2 scenarios for now. but I would only talk about this alternative scenario where we come higher if we get above 46.5K. And I currently don't see it because we just dropped below 43K, which is what I said earlier today. I mean, maybe we can reclaim it, but that remains to be seen. Someone else who posted about this, I found this actually on Twitter as well. Here, Puff the Dragon. I don't know actually if this is someone who's got a lot of followers, but I found it just by Googling it. And he put it on his Twitter account as well, this 3 peaks domed house pattern, which is, as you can see here, very much related to the Elliott Wave method, also known as a corrective flat, where you get your wave A, pretty much what I talk about for Bitcoin, then you move up in your wave B. So you have, first of all, your wave A, usually corrective flat, mostly sideways, often messy. Final drop can be 3 or 5 waves, and so on. Then you get up in your wave B. This was basically the all-time high when Bitcoin moved all the way up. Everybody was getting super bullish. Wave B, classic textbook structure, ABC, connected with a wave X, and then ABC. So you get this connector in between. Then you do your ABC, and then you move down here in your final wave C. And then it says here, always retraces most of wave B, sometimes a little more, sometimes a little less. That's true. But based on the structure on the Bitcoin chart, I would expect a lower low. Yeah, so I think this is what we are seeing. This is what we are seeing, and therefore I remain fairly confident we are going to see lower prices here. And if we take a look at the indicators, especially on the monthly chart, I have no reason to believe that we're going to go to all-time highs from here. I mean, so if you hear the little one in the background, but here on the monthly MACD, the MACD line is so high, and it's just crossed bearish a few months ago. So if this is really playing out, I mean, I hope we're gonna stay actually in this 20 to 28.7K area. Yeah, but a lot of people now don't talk about this anymore. A few weeks ago, everybody was super bearish. Now everybody's super bullish. But yeah, I remain at the moment primarily with this bearish scenario, yeah, where we just need to see, well, it's actually a bullish one, because you want that final sell-off in order to accumulate more, and then the wave 3 should be a rocket start, okay? So I'm just waiting for that. And I talked about it earlier. No, we haven't dropped below the 50-day moving average yet. We have not yet. But I talked about it earlier today that I really would like to see these lower levels, because only then we can reset those indicators, and only then we can really get to new all-time highs. If we make a bullish run now, we won't get that high. That's the problem, right? Because the indicators are not yet low enough. So at the moment, though, the price is fighting with a 50-day moving average. 50-day moving average now is sitting at around 42.6K. So yeah, it's just holding above it. But what we can see here is now that, yeah, Bitcoin is making a lower high. What I wanted to show you as well is this overall, you know, we talked about it earlier, this higher level head and shoulders that did form here. Yeah, maybe we can do that a little bit like that. So this higher level head and shoulders pattern that did form here, where this was actually broken, yeah, to the downside. Then we had a retest. That was the major sell-off, and I think we might be retesting it now again. And in a bullish scenario, what this would be, so you can see the white neckline here of that head and shoulders pattern. We, by the way, have not reached the price target of this large head and shoulders, because this would also take us down into this area between 20 and 28.7K. Another reason why I think we're going to get lower into that area. But this could also become now in a bullish scenario if you break the neckline to the upside. So that would be very close to that 46.5K level that I talked about. If we break that to the upside, then you're going to see here an inverse head and shoulders, basically a bullish reversal pattern. There you go. And then you're going to see this here. And then you break out from here, retest it and go up, possibly, yeah. So this would be in the case that really we break above this 46K level, 46.5, depending on when it's going to be reached. But yeah, at the moment, interesting, very interesting chart at the moment, fighting with this 50-day moving average, and it remains interesting. It seems like the price could be rolling over here now. The indicators point further to the downside. I wanted a price drop below 42.8K today, but back then we had already the 50-day moving average was still a little bit higher. So now we are still above the 50-day moving average, and I'd like that final sell-off. not because I talk about it all the time, but because I want the indicators to be lower. Only then I'm very, very confident that we're going to get into new all-time high territory. But maybe that's too easy. Maybe that's too easy. Maybe we need first that move up before we come down. So be prepared for both. It's certainly, if we now drop below the 50-day moving average, again, there are two possibilities. Either we make a higher low. If we make a higher low, I would accumulate more here, because that would tell me that we're probably going to go higher from here as well, because this was then a higher low. If we drop lower, make a lower low, a significantly lower low, then that tells me, you know, we are probably going to see this really. And this is my primary expectation still. While Bitcoin is currently dropping, Cardano is dropping as well. Cardano dropped out of this ascending wedge, a bearish pattern. We talked about it earlier. But really, generally, what we see here, if you zoom out, just sideways movement, really. I think Bitcoin still hasn't really decided, even though it dropped below 42.8K, yeah. But it's pretty much still above the 50-day moving average, so there is no clear decision yet. Are we going to see that break above 46.5K, and are we going to break that resistance line of the head and shoulders pattern and move higher, maybe all the way up to 65K before we do the correction? Or do we drop now into my target area between 20 and 28.7K? It's pretty much like watching a movie. Very interesting at the moment. And Cardano is just moving with Bitcoin at the moment, yeah. Moving with Bitcoin, and I won't expect any exciting moves at the moment for Cardano, basically because it is still in this channel, in this descending channel. It first would need to break out of the channel. First, it needs to break above the 50-day moving average. I mean, Bitcoin is already above that. Cardano isn't, okay? So yeah, at the moment, it's depending on Bitcoin, it looks like, because following Bitcoin is moving sideways with Bitcoin. We had some attempts here of ADA to outperform Bitcoin in the last few weeks. Now that has stopped, unfortunately. So we were here in this uptrend, in this slight uptrend. You can see already the ascending trend line here on the chart. That was broken. But very interestingly, we can see ADA BTC being in a descending wedge. That would also be a rather bullish pattern, actually, but very moving really here in this apex of this descending wedge. There isn't much more space, so you can expect, well, maybe my comment just now that I don't expect anything exciting of Cardano was wrong, because you can expect a move very shortly if that pattern breaks. First of all, it's a bullish pattern. Now, it doesn't always need to break to the upside, but it is not a very small one, so it's fairly well sized, and you can expect here some sort of a jump if that breaks. At the moment, you can't really see which direction it would be. Generally, you could say, right, it is a bullish pattern. Descending wedge would break more likely to the upside, but we just have to wait. But be prepared for a move here. That could be quite significant. As you can see here, ADA BTC did a significant move here just around middle of January. So yeah, for ADA, I think it just means waiting. And also for Bitcoin, seems like the bears are currently pushing the price further down, but the bulls are there as well. So really hard fight around the 50-day moving average. When you watch this video, we might already have a decision. And I think if we drop below that 50-day moving average, then for the next few days and the weekend, we're going to see declining prices. All right, hopefully you liked the update about Bitcoin and Cardano. If you did, please smash the like button and subscribe. And if you really like the content, maybe you want to consider joining as a channel member. You can do that here on my website or on YouTube, and you can see both links in the video description. Then you can get access to Discord, Telegram, and a weekly live stream. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.